Hey everybody, good morning. How's it going? We're Monday with the trading challenge, the $1 Million Trading Challenge. How's everybody doing today? Hopefully you guys are having a great weekend. Hope you had a great weekend. Hit that like button if you had an awesome weekend. Pierre, Eric, Robin, Derek. And by the way, guys, if you if you guys had some customer issues, I'm really glad that you're here. And I've got my support staff. 3 different people are looking at all your messages. And if you want to private message us or go to the live chat function inside of our members area, we're glad to help you out. So that's it. But today we're going to focus on trading, and I want to just jump right in and hit the trading stuff, and then we'll go look at our spreadsheet and the markets and all that good stuff. So hopefully you guys are all doing well. So let's go ahead and start with doing that. So let's see here. Let's put this over here. We got an account up. Let's do this. Okay. And there we go. Okay, so this is my gold trade. Okay, this is my gold trade, and it's just a small little one, but I could actually, at some point, I might consider expanding this, but right now gold is very bearish, but I'm long, okay? And you can see my current trade is up a little bit, but let's take a look here at what I'm actually looking at. We've been doing a lot of gold. If you haven't been around lately, we've been making a lot of money on gold, and here's what we've been doing. You see this big, we can pull this way back, and you can see that we've got a big uptrend, right? However, it's moving down right now. It's moving down right now, and so it's in a channel, okay? And the thing is, it's inside of a double channel, right? This is a daily chart, but it's inside of a double channel. Okay, so you might be saying, what is he talking about, a double channel? Well, guess what? I need to explain what I'm talking about, guys, because, not everybody knows what I'm talking about. So let's explain myself. And by the way, I just came up with this term right now, so it might not even mean anything. The double channel might be, a weird thing that I just came up with that doesn't mean anything, but hey, that's why I like looking at the same charts over and over again, is because eventually I see something that kind of stands out to me, right? Okay, so you see right here, you can see that we have this sideways channel. And why do I call it a channel? Well, look, it was inside of this channel over here. Boom, 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 boom. Channel, top, bottom. Look at all this support, right? Well, we're right at the bottom of that right now, in addition with this, okay? We're in the addition of this little downward trend, right? So we've got 2 things happening. So if I could highlight this, but I don't think you can actually, let's see if I can do that. Shapes, triangle. We've got that. The triangle is going to be an interesting challenge here. There we go. Objects. Okay, so you can see that we have this channel and we have this channel. So it's in the bull flag and it's in this horizontal channel. So I believe that what we're going to start seeing is a lot of buyers coming into play, right? A lot of buyers are coming into play. Now, for a nice long-term trade, and we always want to manage our risk. By the way, did I tell you guys that trading is risky and this is for educational purposes only, and that you really need, this is not a trade call, this is just education, right? That's all this is. Yeah, that's it. It's just education. So with that being said, I'm looking for things to bounce right around here. I'm looking for it to happen. Now, a great way to do this is for a longer term trade is to watch for a daily candle to form. Like, look at this one. You see, we had a pin bar right here, and then we had a really strong reversal right back here. Like, you can see that I'm actually outlining this. Really strong reversal right here. So, hey, Charles, glad to hear you had a great weekend. Hi, Paul, Eric. Yeah, I just noticed the chat for the first time. So right here, we had a really strong reversal, and boom, it went right up. Now here we have into a very good zone. It's a very good zone. The last time it did that, look at where it was at. It was at this level, and it was also over here, okay? So the thing is, though, even though the technical analysis is saying yes, 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 it's going to be turning around, I want to wait until I actually see something happen, right? And so Robin, pitchforks are great. My good friend, Richard Krugel, is the pitchfork world champion. And I'm not even joking about that. And he's taught me a lot about pitchforks, but I still haven't quite learned everything yet. And so because of that, I haven't really taken to them, but I know they're awesome. And I actually sent this over. I sent this chart to Richard, my pitchfork guru. And so I said, hey, Richard, what do you think of this chart? I can actually show you guys the conversation that I had with Richard. So I said, Richard, what do you think of this chart? Let me show you guys this. Let me see if I can find it here. So I sent this over to Richard, right? This is Richard. He's my trading guru buddy that he's a pitchfork expert, the world's foremost expert on pitchforks. So I said, hey, Richard, how's it going? What do you think of this trade? And so I sent it, and he's like, hey, yeah, I'm thinking that gold will bounce in the short to medium term. So he's not looking at a long-term bounce. He's looking at short-term, but he's going to give me his more in-depth analysis here real soon. But, you know, that's the thing that you guys got to realize is that I learned these charts really well, and I am really confident in my trading, and I don't ever like base trades off of other guys, right? Like I think guru hopping is kind of a bad idea, right? I think hopping from guru to guru is like silly, okay? However, there's nothing wrong with getting insight from professionals or from experts, right? So I build out as many friends and stuff as I can. That's why I do the podcast. Right? I'm always asking questions like a crazy person, trying to learn from these guys, even though I have a lot of confidence in what I'm doing and I don't really need to do that. I still am trying to get better. And one of the cool things about that whole thing is that, you know, it just continues to make me better. It continues to make me better. So by the way, guys, if you have not done this, I'm going to make sure that you guys do this today. Not because I'm trying to spread out your attention, because our focus is very limited. And, you know, we don't want to be looking at too many things. We want to keep our focus laser beam focused, laser targeted. But I want you guys to follow my podcast. And I'm going to just take a look at it here real quick. This is the guys that I interview, and this is just so much good stuff. Now, not all of it would apply to you, but you just kind of hit the stuff that you think would apply to you. But you can just look at a lot of these people I've talked to. I just hit my 100th episode. This says 50, but this is season 2. So I hit 100 episodes, 50 in season 1 and 50 in season 2. So at this point, I'm getting really good at interviewing people. And I'm trying, like this episode with John Seville here. Let me post the link in the chat so you guys can see it. That episode with John was really solid, and he shared some great insight. And what doesn't matter what you're trading, this guy had shared some really good stuff. He was talking about some of the worst trades that he made and how he had to work for like 3 months to make it back and how it was really hard on him, and you know what he learned in that process. So just guys, I try to get people to open up and to share things for real. So I just posted that link in the chat so you guys can check that out, but really useful stuff. So if you believe that you can learn from other people, just go ahead and hit that like button. And, you know, I think it's a good thing. So anyways, right now, let's go ahead and do a little bit deeper analysis. It's currently, I'm watching this support, and I'm just taking some smaller trades here just because you know, it's because that's what I'm doing. So I got a little tiny trade in here. What I was looking at was the bounce off of this level. And it's been testing this pretty good. And if Ben was here, he would say, yeah, double bottom. We had a bottom here and a bottom here, a double 1, 2, right? So when it came back down and then shot right back up, I actually got in long right here. Now, from a long term, and you might be saying, where's the MACD? I think I have it here. I just didn't put it on this chart. Where's my MACD? Because I know you guys love that. And where is the MACD? I don't have it on this one. I'm going to have to get it on there. So anyways, so let's look at this on an hourly time frame. On an hourly time frame, what do we have? We've got a really strong downtrend, but we have a couple things. We got a really steep uptrend, downtrend that got broken right here. Okay, and I'm actually right into my target here right now. What is my, which is a pretty nice $2,000 target. And I'm just going to leave it here, even though, you know, $2,000 is pretty solid for just a few minutes of work, right? And, you know, I'll take that all day long. But the thing that you got to remember too is managing that risk is really, wow, I just heard something outside my door. It was a little scary. I got a closet here. Managing your risk is so critical, right? So managing your risk is super critical. So as I could have, as I made $2,000 on this trade, if I was not managing my risk really tight, I could have lost 2,000 or more, right? And so once you can learn to really master that, you can really master that risk, that's when you start to make money as a trader, right? So write that down, guys. The most important thing, yeah, Maduka, that's the common MACD. It's not the special MACD, right? It's the, here's my special MACD. And actually, so I'll let you guys in on a little secret. I'm actually trading two charts, right? I'm trading this on a 1-minute chart. This is where the MACD that I'm talking about. This is a savvy MACD. It's available for free for you guys that want to download it. But I'm trading this account, and I'm also trading this account at the same time. And that's just something that I do. Okay, so, right, I just closed that out now, and that was a nice trade, right? Really solid trade. But we're up into some resistance here, and it might run on me, but I don't care because I made money on the day. But let me get back to my analysis. So we had this level. We had this level, and I'll actually teach you guys some of that stuff about how to trade on two accounts if you're ever interested. It's a pretty cool concept. Okay, so we have a couple things that's happened. We got this trend line just broke, this really steep one, and steep ones are okay, and then it started to level out, and look, it leveled out, and then that one broke right here, and then it came back and tested. So now we've got that trend line to be tested one more time. And we could actually probably draw another trend line. And these trend lines get a little messy sometimes, but they help me with identifying the trend. So right here is another one as well. So because I am looking at this and I'm thinking, okay, this could be a good opportunity. I'm believing that we might get some breakouts here, but that doesn't mean that this downtrend is over yet, because we are so bearish. We are so bearish, and it still might try to flush some people out. So right now, I'm just going to go with this one. We have this trend line, okay? And I think if you want to short around here, you can. But I'm also really believing that because of all of my other analysis, I'm believing in a break here. And so what I feel is going to happen, ooh, let's change these properties here. What I feel is going to happen is that it's going to go like breakout. And, you know, my feelings are stupid. We don't want to go by our feelings, but we want to manage our risk, right? We want to manage our risk. All right, you see that? Boom, boom. And Derek, you know, let us know what your thoughts are. We can really give you some training on it and help you. Just watch what you're learning right now. you could get some really good feedback on support and resistance. I'm actually talking about this, right? So if you have a strategy, one of the things you always need to do, no matter what, and this is my experience, no matter what you're trading, is you need to put support and resistance levels, right? So I have a MACD strategy that I like, which I'm looking for MACD crossovers. Okay, but with that being said, I always look at support and resistance levels. So in conjunction with everything. So here's a trade that I like right now, and I have been talking about this recently. Let's look at a weekly chart. So we're at this is pound yen. Okay, it's been up like 8 weeks in a row, and last week was up also, but it's starting to get a little bit tired. So look at this weekly. You see the MACD is moving up here. Okay, now it's moving up. MACD's moving up. We're into support right here. Support, it's in this zone. Okay, and we can look, let's look at some of these trend lines here. We got a trend line right here. Okay, and we also have a trend line right here. Okay, you see how it's tested this bottom? So it's kind of similar to the gold, right? Very similar. And looking at stuff in long term is good. So we're support. We've been up a lot. And now on a daily, what do we see? Okay, it's right up into this zone. It's messing around here. We got a very tight move. And it's very bullish. But look, it's starting to get tired. Do you see this black dot? You see how the MACD's flattening out? Okay, you can see it's trying to break new highs, but it's just getting pushed back. It got pushed back. Okay, so now let's go ahead and let's just add an RSI just for fun, right? For fun here, we're going to add the RSI. Okay, and so you can see, what do we notice? It's actually divergence. Okay, so divergence, right? That means that it's, and I went into a really big training on that on my YouTube channel if you guys are interested in that. But we're right at this level. We're in divergence. MACD's getting tired. And so let's look at it on a lower situation. We've got a trend line right here that I'm looking at. Okay, and we also have this. We have this. So I could actually take a small little trade right here. Okay, I could take a small little trade right here. Now, this is a small trade on a very short time frame, but it's also based off of long analysis, right? It's based off of long analysis. So what I'm really looking for to get this into a long term is I'm looking for a breakout of some of these moving averages. This 50 period, this 200 period, if it can break these, then I'm thinking it's going to get some momentum to the downside, and then it's going to correct a little bit. So we also could do a trend line here, and we have that in place. But ultimately, I was just taking this little one here because we have a 1 minute time frame. We have a 1 minute. It's broke below the 50 period. I think if it pops back up here, I think it's going to get tired and then roll over. So, but remember, risk is really critical, right? So if I'm wrong on this, I want to get out quick and not allow the risk to take care of, to overwhelm me. And so here's a little secret too. And, it's not really a secret. It's just stuff that I've picked up over long periods of trading. I'm trading 2 different accounts. And one of the reasons I do that is because it's good to have a backup plan, right? It's good to have a backup plan in case, one broker goes under. And it also helps you with your mindset a little bit. Rather than trading like $1 million at once, you can trade multiple small accounts. Just something to consider. You build up one small account with when you're trading, it's a lot of it is mental, right? So you could be trading and making a few dollars, but if you're, if it gets up to trading like 10,000, then you're like, oh crap, but you can trade $10, right? So if you keep your account smaller and you slowly build up mentally, that makes it a lot easy. LC, you have been with us a while, so I'm surprised you don't have that tool. It's such a cool tool, and it is in the description. It's in the description, so you just click that link in the description, and we'll get that for you. Okay. So anyways, you can see I actually am in that trade on this account too because I'm copying it over. I'm actually copying it. So that is what we're looking at here. Let's go back and look at gold again and see what's happening here. Because trading with gold is actually really a good way to grow your account quickly. It's also a good way to crash your account quickly as well. All right. So with that being said, we're retesting this level, and we had this trend line break like this. Let's go. And now we had this one break down here like that, and now we're headed up. So I think we're probably going to be headed up here. Hey Chris, how's it doing? We had a guy here, AJ, that was always telling me exactly what was happening in the market. I don't know if he's here today or not. AJ, where's the market going? AJ's my market oracle assistant. He tells me everywhere that the market's going. So I just pulled up a stock chart. We're going to look at some stocks too. Hey AJ, what's happening? Where's gold going in the next 5 minutes, buddy? All right. Anyways, so that was that. Let's take a look at my pound yen. I'm going to move my target down here. Okay, and right down here is going to be my target. So let's see what happens with, I gotta see how we just broke this trend. This is going to be really powerful right here. If it breaks this level, that'll be huge for us. And I could be totally wrong. It could flush out all the shorts because there might be too many shorts in here. You know, we want to look at where the levels are. One of the things on these strong uptrends is everybody's like me. They're like, oh, we're shorting, we're shorting, we're shorting. And then it flushes all those shorts out. And like right now, there might be just too many shorts getting in here, and it'll have to go up another level and flush them out before it actually makes the move lower. So it's good to know what people are doing in the market. That's why just candle signals by itself don't work. We want to look at, hey, Carolyn. Hey, Lambo. This is a small account challenge. Yes, it's a small account. We're actually trading 3 accounts. We're trading a Forex account, a stock account, and an options account. And we're trying to get all 3 of those up to $1 million in 1 year. So welcome, 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 Mr. Lambo. But you probably don't need any help because you already have a Lambo, right? So you don't need to trade to make money. You're just here for entertainment purposes only, which I'm here for educational purposes. Yeah. So with that being said, pound yen is moving back up, and we're going to see what happens with it. When it gets up here, I might be looking for another opportunity to go on the short side of it. And again, this 15-minute chart is really strong. And by the way, I actually already lost a trade on the pound yen earlier today, but it was counterset by some of my other trades as well. So I'm actually making money today. Oh, and by the way, I do have a spreadsheet somewhere. Let's see where that is. Let me give you guys access to my spreadsheet. So here, oh, that's the wrong one. Wrong one. I got too many spreadsheets. Okay, here's the real one. Okay, so this is my trading challenge spreadsheet, and it keeps track of all my trades. And right here, I've been doing the $200 day challenge. And last week, I had a really good day at the end of the day. It was on Friday. We were taking some gold trades, and I posted the link in here so you guys can kind of see what I'm doing. I made $925 on gold, right? You can see how that worked out. And I also was trading the euro too. Euro dollar, pound yen, US yen. And I had a couple big losers. I had a $305 loser, but I had a big winner on the euro as well, which helped pull me out. So overall, pretty good day. My win percentage was pretty good as well. So we can keep track of it. But as I keep moving up, I'm trying to increase my goal. So I have to add it up because to see if I made my goal. I believe I did because I only had 2 days last week calculated. So we got 597 plus 975 is 1,500. Actually, I didn't. So divide that by 5. Oh, yeah, that's $300 a day. So that means I hit my goal. So I'm going to highlight this. And, you know, one of the things I want to just hit on goals is to keep your goals tiny. Keep your goals tiny because it doesn't matter. You don't have to. We're going for $1 million, but we're just keeping them tiny. And so the weekly total, we'll add that here. There you go, weekly total. So tiny goals will add up. Now let's just do a copy link so you guys can get access to this. Hey, Bob, thanks for stopping in. This is my tiny goals. Just keep them nice and small. Keep them nice and small, right? I posted the link in the chat so you guys can get access to the spreadsheet and see what I'm doing. But if you keep your goals small, this week it's $200 a day, right? We're going to just keep slowly. Then next week, we're going to go to 300. And if I miss my goal, I'm going to either keep it the same. So let's say this week, we're going to do 200, okay? But next week, I lose money. Well, I'm either going to keep it at 200 or I'm going to drop down to 150 depending on where I'm at next week, right? So if I lose like 2,000, but I'm trying to keep my max risk in play, so I won't have to worry about that. So it might not be scaling every week. It might be, okay, 200 for 5 weeks. So we'll go to 200, back to 150, to 200 to 150. But it slowly gives you a target and slowly gives you something to shoot for. So I think that's a pretty good strategy. And it's been really helpful to me. I recommend that you try something like that. So you can actually take a look at the spreadsheet and see how I do it. And I recommend you do it for yourself. And I just keep my notes by doing this. I just take an image. Okay, I did that on that day. Let's see what I do on this day. Here was my trades this day. Oh, it was all pound yen. There you go. You know, stuff like that. So anyhow, we got the pound yen right here. I should be a little more patient on it and wait for this trend wall to break. Let's look at the best trade would be if it comes down here and then breaks this trend wall. If it does that, that's a really solid trade. I think this is a little bit early. And it could go up higher and flush me out. So one of the problems with trading live in front of everybody is that I have to sometimes just force trades, which is not a good example. I should live by a good example and not just take trades just for the sake of trading, because I know that everybody comes here and they want to watch me trade, right? Like, oh, we want to watch him trade. But but I want to also be a good example, and I don't want to just trade because that's what you guys want. I want to give you a good example. So this is actually not a stock. You can always see in here what the stocks are, or this bottom right corner. Okay, this bottom right corner. So right now I'm currently in this trade, and it's moving down a little bit. Okay, and if you didn't see my analysis, I went off of the divergence on this, and we're up into support. We're in a channel, and so I'm actually looking for some kind of pullback here. Okay, and right now we're getting a pretty decent move. If it breaks this floor, I think we could probably get all the way down here. So I'm going to actually move this down a little bit more. And if it breaks this floor, I think we could go right into this trend line. So I'm going to put my target there. Let me go back to gold here. Okay, so I like gold doing the same thing, but I'm going to be a little more patient with gold, because gold, you can't really play games with gold. Like with pound yen, you can play a little bit of games, and it moves a lot, so you can get in trouble. But gold has a lot more leverage, and it can get you into more trouble. So right now, you can see on the MACD, we're moving down. Okay, the price is currently moving down. We had this trend line right here break to the downside. Okay, so that's what I'm looking at. See how that trend line broke, and now we're moving lower. We'll have a new trend line right here. Okay, a new trend line is right here. So what I will be watching is for it to come into some of these support levels down here, and for this MACD to start turning, and for this upward trend line to be breaking. If I'm patient and I wait for this to break, which patience is really important, that will be really good, that I can be patient. Right? And so I'm going to try to give you guys a good example by being patient. Let's see here. So we have, trying to see if I can find a downward trend line for support. Let me delete all these. Okay, so right now we're moving lower. And what are we? This is a 15-minute time frame, and it's breaking the MACD. So this could be a potential short trade. I only have one little issue with that, and well, a couple different issues. One of them is that my MACD is still negative, and on a strong trend, it doesn't necessarily matter, because sometimes when it's like this one, look, this MACD was overextended, and it was negative, and when it broke, it went lower. This one went a little bit. But I'm actually, because of where we're at on the daily, I'm expecting a bounce. So I'm only going to be trading longs for a while. So even though this shorts would still work, like there was a really good short trade here this morning. This thing was on point, but now we're starting to level off. And so that's what I'm looking at on this one. And so I'm now just waiting. Let's go ahead, and I'm waiting. I'm waiting. And waiting is a good thing. I'm waiting for some price action to start showing me a bounce. Like before, we had some price action. And then I'm waiting for that trend line to break. Those are the two things. I'm waiting for the MACD to start to turn. That's what I'm going to be waiting for. I'm going to be very patient, because like I said, with gold, you have to manage your risk at all times. Gold is a killer. It's really, it can be hey, Sam, good to see you. All right. So let's look at pound yen real quick. Okay. Pound yen's really close to my target. Pound yen's really close. So I'm going to see if we can get that momentum to drop. And while I'm doing that, make sure you guys are still watching gold for me, because I can't do too much at once. So let me know if gold gets ready to set up. And AJ can tell me where it's going. AJ, Where's gold going, man? Come on, let's hit that target. Let's hit that target. Let's hit that target. Oh, boom. Ding, 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 ding. We just hit the target on the pound yen. We just hit the target on the pound yen. So now where are we at? We're entering into support. So do we think we're going to go long on it? It could be a long. Like, look, we have support right here. We've got support on the moving average. We've got support on the trend line. We have a pretty strong upward trend. So we could go long on this one. But I would be waiting for more stuff to happen, because just because we're in support doesn't mean that it's time to take a trade. We could get support, we get support, we get support, but we need candlesticks. We need a reversal. We need price to show us that we're going to reverse in direction. Okay, so I'm going to look at gold, and then we're going to go over to stocks. All right, so gold is collapsing. And if you remember, I was up long on gold earlier, and I'm glad I closed that trade, because I made, how much did I make on it? I made a lot of money on it. So I'm glad I closed it, because if I didn't, I'd be losing money right now. Oh, and if you go back to Friday, guys, Robin says it's going to bounce. Yeah, it's going to bounce. Thanks. Thanks for saying good trade. I appreciate that. And I agree. Okay, so here we go. We got gold just did a candle. It just did a candle here. And now we're headed lower. So a lot of times when you get a green candle, it'll break the lows just to shake people out, and then it'll come back. So this level now is one that I'm going to be watching for a breakout, but we're kind of in a little bit of a zone here. You see, we're in this zone. And so here we go. We're getting a breakout. The MACD is low. It's below the moving averages. The last time that this happened, it had a nice bounce. And so I'm gonna grab this here real quick and see if we can get another trade on this. Okay. A safer, again, just like I said before, I was being patient, waited for that candle. A safer trade probably would have been a breakout of this trend line, because it still might hit the trend line and go lower. But I am looking at this MACD right here as well. So I put my target up here, and we'll see what happens with this. Okay. Yeah, but you can't just go on these little 1-minute candles because, you know, there's lots of fake outs, lots and lots of fake outs. You got to kind of take a culmination of, especially on these lower time frames. Because right now we're pushing into resistance. So this could be more people going short here, waiting for this to push lower. Okay, now the just staring at the charts goes on. USD JPY. Moses, good job. Thanks for chiming in, Moses. Okay, well, we're getting some basing here. You see it's pushing. So if it pushes through this, I think that could really give us some nice momentum. It's into resistance though, so it could easily get rejected right here because this is resistance. But if it pushes, it could be pretty solid for us. So here's the thing, Gatra, you always trade with a stop loss at all times. Never, ever don't trade with a stop loss. It's very dangerous not to do that. So I actually do have a stop loss on here because you just cannot trade without one. It's very risky. You've got to manage your risk at all times. But I just keep it really far away so that the market won't take me out with something crazy like a widening spread. And so I'll just close manually, but I also always have a stop on just in case. Okay. So, oh, by the way, guys, I am not going to be here on Friday or Monday. I'm actually taking a mini vacation. I'm taking 2 days off of work. So I'm taking a mini vacation. And so that's going to be pretty cool. So 5 minute. Okay. 5 minute chart looking good. We're breaking up. 15 minute. What's the 15 minute saying? 15 is still lowering on the MACD. I like it. We're getting some solid movement here. Price is moving up. That nice 15 minute candle's looking really solid. You see how it went right into support. And you see how it's just got a really nice pin bar here. So let's look at it again on a 5 minute. So we're right at a support level though. We're right at a resistance point. So just so you guys know, I'm not going to be here on Friday, but we're right at resistance. If this 5 minute one goes, this is going to be really solid for us. So I actually have to make a couple extra trades to make some money for my vacation. So this is vacation money. So hopefully we'll get a nice little bounce here. Let's take a look. Okay, so now it's getting rejected a little bit. Okay, so now we broke above this moving average, and now it's testing into this trend line. So I think this trend line might give us some resistance point, and so we'll take a look at it. See what we got here. If it can bounce off of this and then keep moving, that'll be a good sign. If it doesn't, then I'll be probably closing this trade. So we'll see how this trend line can hold off. It's got some nice resistance here, or nice support to bounce through. Let's see what we got here. Okay, but we are still doing the Wednesday giveaway. So if you guys are really excited about the Wednesday giveaway, make sure you hit that like button. We've only got 31 likes, and there's 102 people on right now. So I know we can get more likes than that. So let's pump that like button and get it up to 50. I really would appreciate that, especially because we got closed some nice trades so far, right? Give me some of those likes for these trades. If you want me to keep showing you trades like this, I gotta see some likes. Eric, thanks, man. You're on vacation too? Okay, well, man, that was beautiful. We could have added back to our position on that. That was really a thing of pure beauty. Okay, so I got my target all the way up here. We are entering a couple different resistance points, though. I got this 50 period moving average. We've got some targets right here as well. Or there's resistance at 160.94. 160.92 is currently hitting. So if it breaks this 50 period, I think we could get up to this one, but we'll see. It's getting some negative action here. We kind of have a falling trend line here. Let's see. Always trying to talk myself out of the trade or talk myself into getting out, because I don't want, one thing we don't want to do is hold this thing to a loser, because I did that last Friday and I don't want to do it. Eric, enjoy your vacation, man. I think you probably said earlier, but I forget. Where are you vacationing at? Okay, let's get this thing rocking here. Let's break this up. Oh boy, we got some hardcore bounce to the downside. That's not a good thing. Let's see what we're looking at. We're dropping lower here. So actually, this was a nice $2 bounce, and so I need to get better at making sure that I don't let my winners turn into losers. Got to make sure we do a better job of that. Okay, so now we have one other level right here that's we're gonna see how this gets tested. We're gonna see how this 88 levels gets tested. Gatra, you're right, man. It did. It totally got rejected right at that 50 period moving average. That 50 period actually worked really well. There was also another resistance point right here as well. Okay, so we're kind of building a little zone here. We got 12 seconds on this candle. Seeing how we're getting another bounce. Let's see what happens when it gets back up here. We have some more resistance here. So it's kind of in a real battle. It's in a fight. It's trying to determine which way it wants to go, which is trading. You know, trading's a war here. Hey, and I want to thank everybody that hit that like button. And remember, we are going to have a giveaway on Wednesday. We're going to be doing a live giveaway on Wednesday. And we haven't determined what. My phone is ringing. Here, let me just pause this real quick while I talk on the phone. Oh, Paul, you just made me laugh. You're so funny. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah, so that was my wife, and I had to answer some really important questions about picking up the kids from school. So anyways, let's take a look here. We got another possibility of a bounce off of this trend wall down here and another one down here. And hey, Frog, and Maruz has made a really good point about commissions, and that is really important. And I had actually talked about that last week. I talked about that last week in the scalping sessions that we did. We talked about that. So definitely something to very consider. The biggest benefit with trading on a shorter time frame is that you can predict the market movements with a little more accuracy. As you can see, I was able to predict this bounce pretty solid, and I just held on to it too long. So discipline is really important when you're doing this. Making sure that you manage your risk really well, right? Managing your risk is it's really important. So right now we just broke below this support level, okay? And so every time when you have a support level, you want to watch and see how the market responds to it. We might get another bounce right here, and then we have another really good trend line to the upside that we could be patient on and wait, which would be this one. Okay, you can see we could be patient and wait, but we do have support down here as well. So I have one trade. And so again, remember, I'm managing my risk really tightly here. I'm down, but it's not massive because this is a 1 minute chart. It looks huge, but really on a 1 minute chart, these moves can look big. So you want to be trading on a 1 minute time frame, but be looking at a longer perspective, right? And so I am looking at a longer perspective, and you'll notice that we have a double bottom down here. We have 1, 2, 3, and that's not double, that's triple. We have a triple bottom down here. The MACD is overextended on the 1 minute to the downside, and if we get another bounce here, there could be another opportunity to go and add a position to this trade to the long side. I would probably say add either on some candlestick bounces, a break of this resistance area, or just wait and be patient and wait for this trend line to break. Would be another opportunity. Now, I'm always trying to talk myself out of a trade and say, oh, this is not going to work. So if that's the case, then we could watch this 1684 level and see what happens. If the 1684 breaks, we go back to a longer term time frame. If 1684 breaks, then we have a lot of downward momentum possibility because that's pretty bearish. But there's still a lot of levels for it to respond to. So there we have it. And let me zoom up a little bit and see what's actually happening now. So we're getting some bouncing action, and I wanted to take a look at some other trades here before we go. So let's go ahead and do that. Thanks, Frog. Thank you. So we got 2 green candles, and now it's testing down here. And so let's see what happens with this level. See if we can get any push up. And I want to just peek over at our pound yen. So pound yen, we went right into the target. You see that? For those of you that were on earlier, we hit a pound yen trade. You see how it went right to the target? That was a thing of beauty. And so we can actually now see what happens on these bounces. See what happens on these bounces and see if it gets rejected. We have some trend lines and things like that. So on a daily time frame, I'm really waiting, or even on a 4-hour, we're waiting for one of these key levels to break, and then we have more of a long-term swing trade to the downside. If this breaks, if this current trend line breaks, then we have a really solid trend to the downside. Okay, let's go back over here. Let's take a look at I'm going to look up here, see where we're at, and then I want to look at gold or the euro dollar on a longer time frame. Okay, so euro is very weak according to the dollar. We broke through this support level, and now we have another one right here at 1800. So be watching, because this has not hit this moving average, and see how long this has been. This is a 200 period. Okay, and this has been above this 200 period since May of last year. And so we're probably going to go back into that. So that's something that we want to take a look at and consider on this euro dollar. Let's see, what is our absolutely next support level? It's right here at this level, and it was testing this for quite some time before it finally broke out for good right here. And so right now we have two really solid levels on the euro dollar. Okay, and so if we get a daily bounce off of this candle, off of this level, then we should probably make a consideration of going long, at least for a little while. Same with this 200. If it breaks down and it bounces off this 200 and we get a bounce, then we should consider going long on that. So that's what I'm looking at on the euro. Let's go ahead and take a look here. All right, so gold is still headed lower, and right now we're testing this lower level, and our ultimate test is going to be at 1684 right now. All right, so I'm going to keep watching this, keep this in my sights, but I want to take a look at some other charts here. So we have, we've got the SPY. Let's see what we got with this. So today we had a bullish candle, and today we're kind of we opened up a little bit higher. Let's look at what happened on the 15-minute time frame. So we opened up into this resistance, and now we are currently looking at this strong upward trend, okay, on a 15-minute. It broke out of the other trend line in the past right here. And so if we break this 383, then I'm looking at a possibility of it getting back down to 378. And the really key levels we want to watch this week is this 378. If it breaks below this 378, I think we're going to go down to 370. And then, you know, we just keep watching these different levels to see how that they will respond. Okay. That's really important to watch your levels. So right now, the daily candle, though, the daily candle was a very solid bounce. So it right where we're at is going to be really important also, because that was where it closed a couple days ago. You see right here, it closed right at 383. And now that's right where we're at. So if we break lower here, that could really send some acceleration to the downside. And so we're going to want to watch that. And as we know with the S&P 500, that impacts a lot of other trades, right? It impacts a lot of stocks. So if you're trading stocks and the S&P is going down, it makes it a lot harder to find trades, but you can be selective and find some good trades out there. So that's something that we want to take a look at and be very mindful of. A chart that I was really enjoying here was this one. So if we take a look at this, this is a channel to the downside. You see this, and it's based out here, and it's in this really solid area. Overall, we've moved up, and now we're at a very nice bounce right here. And this is very similar to the gold situation, right? But this is just more of a daily chart rather than looking at on a very lower time frame. This is a daily. So I like this trade a lot. If we break this level right here, if it breaks above this, I think that's a really solid position to go long, all the way up to about 520. Definitely solid. You can see why is it important? Because look, right here is support, and then that support got broken, and now it's at resistance. So if this resistance breaks, we should really be looking at going long here. And so let's take a look at some options. Oh, actually, let's look at it on a weekly time frame. So weekly, we had a very nice weekly candle. I love weekly candles. So try to make a habit of looking at stuff on a weekly candle. Okay, so on the weekly, you can see the last time it was up here, it took about 5 weeks to get up there. How long is it going to take to get back up or to get down? 4 or 5 weeks. So if you're going to trade this on an option, we want to take a look at it, and we want to give ourselves some time, right? So 4 weeks is 32 days. If we want to go 2 months, the further out it is, the more expensive your option is going to be. So let's look at how expensive it's going to be. So the current price is $464. It's $17, right? $24 actually. It's $24 to buy this. So how much would that cost if we buy one of those? So if you only buy one, it's $2,400. That's quite a bit of money for an option. The good news is that you can actually make a lot of money on that, right? So if you buy an option at $2,400 and it goes up to $520, so we're buying it here, and we believe that it's going to go up to $520. Where would that? The idea is to kind of get an idea of how much would that be worth to us? How much money would we make on it? There's theta decay happens, right? If you go up here and you look at theta, that's the amount of decay, which means that your price is decaying. And the longer out, there's less decay, so it gives your trade more time to materialize. Okay. So the further out we are, the cheaper they get. So if I believe that it's going to make it to 520, you can see that's pretty cheap, right? $7. However, you're not going to get quite as much upward momentum on it because the delta is the part that determines how much it's going to go up and down. All right. So, but we can kind of get an idea of how much it will go up. So if it goes from 464 up to 520, which is what we were looking at, that is a $60 move, right? 40 plus 20 is 60, a $60 move. So if this is trading at 24, and this is just a rough estimate, what would the price be, right? So if we buy this at $24 and it goes up another 60, that's around 400, right? So the option could be trading at $71 if it makes that kind of a bounce, right? That's pretty significant. So we pay $2,300, right? So let's just do that. We pay $23 and it goes up. If it went up to 71, right? That's minus, what's the current price? 22. Okay, so that's $49. Okay, so if we pay 71, it'd be 7,100 minus 2,200. You'd be looking at roughly $5,000 in profit on that trade in only a month, if it went to your target. If it doesn't, then you could lose money, right? And so the big danger about options is you want to keep your trades as small as possible. Why? Because of the theta decay. Because if you make a trade and it doesn't hit your target, you could stand to lose the whole thing. And by the way, I'm going to jump. I've been watching this chart. Gold is actually making another move up. And so I'm going to actually get another position right here. Okay, so you can see we had a move. It broke the second trend line. This is going lower. It based out, and now we're moving back up. So I'm actually going to add another position on this trend line break. We do have some downward movement here, but I like this position because of this break. Okay, so I'm going to be watching that, but I'm also going to be looking, going to keep my eyes on that trade. So I just thought I would keep you guys posted on that. All right. So this again looks really good on a weekly time frame. I like this a lot. You just gotta, it just takes a lot of time to plan out the options trade. So let's go ahead and let's look at another one just to see. Let's look at the April. That gives us a little more time. It gives us 39 days. Let's look at the difference. So the price on the April is $23. Not much different, and it gives you some more time. So you could go down a little bit cheaper here to try to get yourself a cheaper trade. So I'm actually going to go ahead and do this one, and we're going to I got to unlock the trading here. I'm going to take this option, and I'm going to put my price, my buy price. I'm going to try to get it a little bit cheaper. 1850 is the current order. I'm going to try to get it down to 18. So that's another thing you can do in options is you can try to put a limit order in and try to get a better price. So I'm going to put it down to 18. Okay, so I'm going to put my order in, and that would be $1,800 on that trade. Okay, so I'm actually going to now take a picture of that, okay? And we're going to let's go ahead and take a picture of this chart. So I'm just setting this up, okay? And I'm going to put a picture of it. And we're going to grab it, copy the link, and I'm going to post it in the spreadsheet. So we're going to go over here, 3/8 stocks, and I'm going to, it's REGN, and we're going to just put a picture of it right here. So that's going to be the trade, and there you have it. Okay, so with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at that. So that's all set up now, and I'll have to make sure that I get my fill because I'm not sure that I actually got filled. I will be watching for that, making sure I got filled because it is moving up. So I'd like to get a little bit of a pullback so I can get my fill. All right, so while we're waiting for that, let's go ahead and go back here. And again, let's look at my gold setup. I've got this in place, and we are currently moving down. I got a fake break on here, but we're still, there's a couple things we're going to be looking for, right? We got this support level at 386, and then there also a downward channel right here as well. So we're going to be looking at 1686 right in here at this level. I'm going to be looking at 1684. And I'm also going to be watching this downward channel on the bottom, because every time it's hit this bottom downward channel, it's had a bounce to the upside. So this trend line is going to be really important moving forward. So if we get another break, I have enough room in my account here to make one more trade. Because remember, risk is really important. And if I'm off, I'm off. I'm going to close it. So the thing I can't stress enough is managing that risk is so important. Managing that risk is so important. And so just so you guys know, I did get filled. So I'm going to add that to my spreadsheet right here. And I'm just going to say long, or we'll just say April 16, $475 calls. So that means that the calls expire on April 16th, and the price of the call was $475. So if the price goes up above that, we can go ahead and pull this chart up. If I break above 475, this option will increase in value really quickly. And so I have a potential to make up to $5,000 on this. I'm probably not going to hold it that long, but even if I make a couple thousand on it, if it gets up to 2,000 in profit, I might close it. But it's a pretty solid looking weekly setup. I like what we're looking at, because we just broke above last week's high as well. So I think this is going to be a pretty solid setup. All right, so we're still watching gold. Gold is giving us another chance to break out. And so if we get another strong break here, I'm going to go ahead and try it one more time. One thing that we can also be aware of is the moving averages, right? So the 50-period moving average could act as resistance as well. So we want to be considering that when you take a trade with yeah. Let's go ahead and look at that, Ben. Let's take a look at it. ARK. Ooh, actually, this isn't bad. So you can see we have a nice move right here. And this is an ETF. You can see we're right into this support level, and we got a bounce on it. So that's a weekly chart. Let's look at a daily. So daily, we had a very strong bounce. And so let's take a look at this and keep our eyes on it. And Zarubin is really funny, or DYI says we're going to get wrecked. Dude, you got to manage your risk. If you're thinking that you're going to get wrecked on some tiny trades, you got to manage your risk. It's just so important to manage your risk. If the market is wrecking you, you've got to manage your risk much better. Okay. So anyways, this is actually looking pretty good. Watch for this. We got a pin bar here. Watch for some of these levels to go long on if you're looking at taking a long. I think it might continue. We do have support right here as well. So you'll want to watch that. But if it can break both of these levels, that could be a pretty solid setup. It is a nice uptrend. The MACD is lower, and you really got to be careful. You can also trade on a demo account too, Paul, if you want. That's really important if you want to do that. Personally, I recommend a demo until you can be consistent. You know, just like what we said here when I was talking about the daily thing, when I was saying, okay, $100, $100. If you can do this on a demo, $100 a day, $150 a day, do that for like a month and keep learning to scale up, then it's fine to go to a longer chart, you know, to go to a live account. But, you know, get familiarized with the platform, learn how to manage your risk, especially if you're a beginner. You want to learn and practice your risk. All right. Yeah, you know what? As long as the risk is within my parameters, everything is good. You're absolutely right on that, Ben. So anyhow, we'll see how this works out, but my time is done. It is going lower. We're going to get to 1684 right down here. We'll see what we got. All right, guys, we'll talk to you guys very soon. And I hope that you do well, DIY. Thank you. Oh, one other thing, guys. We're going to do that giveaway on Wednesday. So if you want to participate in that, make sure that you subscribe. Hit the subscribe button and hit that like button, and we really appreciate it. Thank you, guys. We'll talk to you soon.